On an old farm far out in the country sat a mother duck hatching her eggs. At long last one eggshell after another burst open, and little ducklings poked out their heads and went pip, 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 and soon they were all out of their shells, all except one, that is, the largest egg of all had not yet hatched. "I think I will sit on it a little while longer," said the mother duck. "I've sat so long now that I can sit a few days more." Hee hee. At last the great egg burst. Out crept a very large and very ugly duckling. Quack! "It's enormous, to be sure," quacked Mother Duck, "but thank goodness none of the others look like that." And soon the poor creature became the butt of the whole farmyard. Everyone pecked at him and chased him, and did all sorts of things to him. The chickens bit him, and even the farmhand kicked him. One day, when the ugly duckling could stand it no more, he crawled under the fence and went far away to the distant marshes, and here he fell in with a company of wild ducks who didn't seem to mind his ugliness at all. "Listen, friend," said one of them, "you're so ugly that we like you. Will you join us and become a bird of passage?" He was just about to say yes happily, when a shot rang out, and out of the sky tumbled one of the wild ducks. Wildly, the flock rose into the air, and more shots followed, and many of his new-found friends fell lifeless into the water before them. Then he heard another sound. What was that? He was so frightened that he put his head under his wing. At that moment, a frightful big dog came through the reeds. His tongue hung far out, and his red eyes gleamed horribly, and for a moment he stopped and glared at the ugly duckling. But then, splish, splash, sh, sh, on he went. "Oh, thank goodness," said the little duckling. "I'm so ugly that even a dog doesn't like to bite me." At last it was autumn with its red and golden leaves, and the air became very cold, and then came the cold, bleak winter. It would be just too sad to tell you of all the suffering and misery which little duckling endured during that time. It was really a miracle that he survived at all. When spring came, there was another miracle. He found that he could fly, for with the passage of time he had grown to be a mature bird, so he rose in the skies and flew far away. He soon found himself over a lonely garden with a shining blue lake, and below him all the trees were putting on their spring finery. It was breathtakingly beautiful, but what really thrilled him was the sight of 3 glorious white swans swimming in the lake. "I will fly down to them, to the royal birds," he thought. "Yes, even though they beat me because I'm so ugly, better to be killed by them than to be pursued and tormented by ducks and beaten by chickens." And he circled around and landed in the blue lagoon near them. He swam up humbly to the beautiful birds and spread his wings before him, and bent his head down to the water so that they could more easily kill him if they wished. But what he saw reflected in the water was his own image, and lo, and behold, no longer was he a clumsy dark gray bird, ugly and hateful to look at. He was a swan, a beautiful snow-white swan. Then the other swans, graceful and majestic creatures, welcomed him into their company, and later into the garden came some little children, one of whom cried, "Look, a new one has arrived, and here is the youngest and handsomest of all." And all the old swans all bowed their heads before him. From the depths of his heart, this new prince of swans cried, "I never dreamed when I was an ugly duckling that I could grow up to be a beautiful swan." Wow.